everyone, how are you guys tonight? You guys are live on the Dixie Belle Paint Facebook and Instagram pages. Welcome back. My name is Brandy and I am the owner and artisan behind Brushed by Brandy. And we paint live together every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern. You guys, my husband Sean, he is here behind the camera. He's going to help us answer questions. So while you're on, pop on and ask any questions you guys have, and we will try to get to those tonight, but we're going to do some painting. Let's see. So the piece that I'm working on tonight is going to be this little nightstand behind me, and I've just posted a before picture on my Facebook and Instagram pages. But this is where I am on it right now. So you guys saw that I did the dresser for this set. Now I'm working on the nightstand, but I'm going to show you a couple things that are different about this. Number one, I chose the wood you bend a little bit differently. So on the dresser, it was more of a horizontal piece, and so I chose a more horizontal piece of wood you bend molding. This is the one that we used on the dresser. This is wood you bend 1374, and it comes in two like this. But I felt like for this little piece, this was kind of longer than what this surface needed, and so I chose a different one. So that's just something to consider when you're choosing your wood you bend moldings, or what is the shape of your piece and what are you trying to accentuate here. And I like that this one's got a little more bulk in the center.
Hey.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of bulk in the center. All right, and, but I had a couple options that I went through, like something like this would have been cute. I could have put something in the middle here, or if this had like a center pole right here, a piece of hardware, I would have really liked something like this. That's a cool one. I also debated on one of these guys here. These are probably some of my favorites. This is number 2172, and they're like snowflakes. But I think that one would have been pretty too. So I don't know. I kind of debated on a few different shapes on here, and you know, this I think would have been too small. And, you know, like I said, this is just too long. So I like this. This gives nice balance to the center of the piece. And then this is an original molding up here. I'm trying to keep, there you go. So that's an original molding there. Okay, so I added my wood you bend. I've got all my paint on here, and I did put a layer of satin clear coat over the top because we are going to do some glazing tonight. You guys know how much I love glazing. I'm not a big glaze user. I tend to prefer waxes when I can use them, but sometimes there is no substitute for glaze. It's just the best tool for the job, and I feel like with detailed moldings like this, that's the case. So we are going to use some Dixie Belle Glaze, but let me tell you my secret with Dixie Belle Glaze. I like to tint my glaze. You can tint your glaze. You can make custom colors. So this is black glaze that I've tinted with a little bit of Dixie Belle coffee bean paint. And you just add a few drops of the paint into your glaze. It doesn't take much at all. Very, very little paint whenever you're tinting anything. Whether you're tinting a clear coat, a glaze, tinting a wax. You can make custom waxes with your paint too. It only takes a couple drops of your paint. So I like to tint my black glaze with a little bit of coffee bean, and it turns it into this antique, like an antique brown color. It's very... it's very warm, but the glazing medium keeps the paint from drying too fast. If you just did a wash of paint, it tends to set up really quickly. So the glazing medium kind of thins it out a little bit, spreads it out more.
Like a wash of paint, like Flashdance?
Yeah, just like Flashdance. Okay, so Dixie Belle has pearlescent glaze. You can tint the pearlescent glaze and make custom colors with that. But we're going to go ahead and glaze inside these details. Now I said I like to use waxes a lot, and I do, but on this particular one, I want these details to get nice and dark. So I'm going to glaze them instead of using a wax, and I'm just going to use, this is a watercolor brush. I love these. I stole these from Tracy's class, Tracy from Tracy's Fancy.
That's cool. It's got a broom handle on it.
Yeah, when we were in Florida a couple years ago.
It's a 2-foot length.
But I really like them. They're good. She said they're cheap too. They're like off Amazon or something. So I'm just going to add this inside all these crevices that are on this molding here, but I'm not going to do around the outside, because around this outside, I am going to use wax. Because you can see how my paint finish has this kind of soft halo effect around the around this medallion, and I want to play that up. And glazes give you kind of fine, crisp, clean lines, and I want to get the smudgy effect of waxes so that I can play up that that kind of soft halo that's going on in my paint finish. So I'm going to dig this into all the crevices of this molding.
Can you dig it?
And then we'll compare it to this guy up here that doesn't have glaze on it, and you'll be able to see what a difference it makes. It's going to find all the low points on this molding, and really you're going to start to see detail in it that you didn't see before. You know what I mean?
Hey everyone, thanks for chiming in. Hope everybody's warm out there.
Yeah, you guys, the weather's changing. I noticed that as I put a sweatshirt on for my live tonight. I was like, I swear a couple months ago I was wearing like flip-flops and shorts, and now it's sweatshirt time on lives. So you can definitely tell the weather's changing. Although I'm not sad about it. Like, I'm a gloomy weather kind of girl. I love it. I love when the sun doesn't come out all day. Yeah, like I love it dark. I like to sit on my couch and look at the trees. Oh my gosh, Sean's not having it, but I'm all over it. Just a little ray of sunshine. That's me. Oh, snow. Yeah, we don't get snow. We're below the snow line, but.
So Fireball June wants to know what kind of furniture this is. What would you call this style?
Nightstand.
Yes.
I would say it still falls in the French provincial. You know, it might have like some Louis the 14th, I don't know, something like that. But it's still got the sweeping French provincial legs. It's very curvaceous, a lot of detail, very ornate. So I'd still say it falls into that style.
Chunky in the middle.
Yeah, chunky in the middle. Okay, and then I'm just going to take a dry rag. This is just Sean's shirt. He's stop flexing. It's embarrassing.
Huh? It's like 50 degrees out here.
And I just go back and I'm going to clean up as much as I can off this medallion. And I'm just going to leave in, I kind of dig my finger into any of these spaces that I can get into. But anywhere that I can't get is where it's going to stay.
Which way is the beach? Oh, is it that way?
All right, once I've got it pretty good and cleaned up with my dry rag, I'm going to come back with a wet wipe. And these can be baby wipes. I actually really like these cleaning wipes from Costco. But I'll tell you what, these during COVID became a rare commodity, and I was scared to use them because I thought, what if they never come back again?
What's the open time for that glaze?
Here's what I do. It does. Once you tint it with the paint, it's going to dry faster than it would as a glaze on its own. So I work in small areas at a time. So I have multiple medallions I want to do. I do want to do this guy, but I'm just going to do one at a time. I would say you probably have, I don't know, 10 minutes or so to work with it before it really starts getting kind of hard to take back. Like I said, I did put a clear coat on this so that I can wipe over top of this. And I'm just going through on my wipe and I change to a clean spot on it, and I'm digging my finger into those corners and I'm just cleaning it up.
Oh, Gary says it's going to be a warm 19 degrees tomorrow morning.
Wow, Gary. You going to the beach?
Woo!
That sounds beautiful.
I just directed him to where it was.
Very thoughtful of you. I'm sure he appreciates that. Gary, of all people. You know what I forgot? You guys, I forgot my, I wanted grunge gray wax and I left it. So I'm going to have to go grab that in just a second. But it'll be fast, I promise. I can't send Sean over here since he's going to the beach.
No, I'm just directing. I'm not going.
Directing traffic. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry. Once I've got it nice and cleaned up, it's nice and even around all the edges. That's really pretty. So, for comparison's sake, this is the one that has just my paint finish on it. It doesn't have any glaze. And this is the one that has the glaze. Can you guys see how it darkened all those recesses? And now I feel like that molding, you can see all the details that are in it. Let's go ahead and do this guy up here.
Ooh, a warm 26 today. How about that?
That sounds beautiful.
Celsius?
So same thing. I'm going to dig this around. I really don't want to get around the edges because I am going to do those with wax. I really just want to get into... Okay, so since this one's smaller, I'm going to let it set for a minute. I'm going to also do...
Really? I just got the camera there. Now you want to turn the piece?
We'll come back in a second. But I'm going to also do down here. And I'm just adding the glaze on this finish to where I have metallic paint. So if you guys saw my YouTube video from last week, this is that paint finish. Okay, so if you want to see the paint finish itself, you can go check out my YouTube channel, Brush by Brandy. And my YouTube video from last week, we did this paint finish on the matching dresser. But I wanted to continue with you guys and show you guys live the next steps too.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth. She said the pictures. Did you post pictures?
Oh, our family pictures? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we had a stand-in.
We went and got family pictures
Use
taken.
The wall as a dartboard.
Once a year I make my kids clean up, put on a clean shirt.
That's not darts, that's splatter.
It's pretty bad, but I work over here, so it's kind of like, well, why?
Is this a Dateline episode?
Yeah, it looks like blood spatter. Yeah, it looks like an episode of Dexter over here. All right, so that's that one side. I mean, this goes pretty quickly. So let's come back up here and do this guy. I'm gonna clean it up with my dry rag first.
Oh man, looking at camera, yeah.
Looks bad. Back up. That means you can also see the wrinkles in my face.
Oh man, well I'm not getting your face, so.
Okay, perfect. Keep me off camera. Yeah. You guys will notice I try to keep my face off camera. It's really hard. I'm not a fan of being on camera at all. Which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny when I have a job that requires me to be on camera. All right.
And go.
I'm going to save that one. Okay, hang on, you guys. I need to grab my grunge gray wax. This is black and I want gray. So you guys hang out with Sean for a minute. I'm sorry to do that to you.
Oh, man. Pulling teeth.
Just pretend to talk to him. Make a joke.
Throw some dad jokes. Anybody got good dad jokes out there?
All right, sorry, guys.
And not just one word jokes, and it's Sean.
Because I'm going to show you what I plan to do around the edges of this here. So let me put the lid on my glaze before I dump it all over the floor. And I'm going to pull over my artist brushes. Okay, so if you guys don't know already, I super love an old tin of wax for detailing with. And this is my old tin of grunge gray. And it's old. I mean, these are old, guys. But I value these. I actually have, I know that the black is getting kind of low, so I have a tin that I take the lid off and let it sit out in the open so that it will dry out, because I love a dried out tin of wax. All right, so let me pick a brush.
Oh, jeez.
I'm looking for something kind of soft, but not one of my good artist brushes. Some of these are nicer than others.
Aaron was throwing out the dad joke.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. Aaron's got your back. Aaron's a good guy. We love Aaron. Okay, and now I'm going to come... I chose... This is it's a synthetic bristle artist brush, but it's a little worn. It's not one of my favorites, I know. I don't think anyways. Yeah, this is not a nice one.
Like in general, you know?
But this wax is pretty firm, and I'm just going to pick it up. But I like this because it means it's going to stay exactly where I put it. And I'm going to outline this in a wax. All right, I chose gray because I like gray against white. Black can be a little harsh when you're doing white, but the gray is nice and soft. It's just going to accentuate the details without looking like, I don't know, like it's goth. I don't know. What's a
easier way to say that? No.
Black wax on white can be really pretty. This is a much softer finish than black wax, you know, calls for, I guess, than would call for black wax. So this isn't a whole lot of molding, so I'm just going to go around all of the outside. And then I'm going to smudge this out, and it's going to soften it even more.
Smudge it out.
And that's going to have, that's going to be how I emphasize around the outside edges, because I don't want that glaze detail. Plus, if I glazed it, I would have to wait for it to dry. before I could come back and add the wax if I still wanted the shadowy effect of the waxes.
What was your base coat?
I have Fluff. Dixie Belle Fluff is the white. And then on the medallions, I have Steel Magnolia over French Linen. And the reason I did that is because the metallics have less pigmentation in them. And so to get coverage, you want to put a color that's similar underneath the metallics. And so I use Steel Magnolia Metallic, and the closest color in the line to that is French Linen. So I just layer them. That gives me coverage. And then I know you can't tell really on camera, but they've got a metallic sheen. This halo right here is soft and metallic too. Ooh, it's pretty. And then it blends into the fluff and it's just a little bit sparkly. Yeah, but this is one of those pieces that's all about the little details. All right, so now that I've got that around the edge of my medallion, I'm going to come back with one of these guys. And I'm just going to pull it out a little bit, and it's going to fade into my paint finish. So it just kind of emphasizes it, like it works together with the paint finish to give me the overall look that I'm going for. I'm going to turn this a little bit towards me just so I can see this side.
Oh, come on.
So sorry.
That's all right. I can't get past the blood splatter over
I know. Here. I don't know, guys. Well, see, so I've debated, like, do I want to paint the wall nice and make a cool finish on it? But here's what happens over here. I paint over here every week with you guys, and it's just going to get messed up again. All right, so now that I've kind of pulled it out from the edges, I'm just going to smudge it out even more. All right, that's really pretty. Let's do the same thing up here.
Do you wash your wax brushes after every use?
Not after every use. I would say after every, I don't know, when they start.
Do you ever wash your wax brushes?
I do, but very seldom. Maybe every 5 to 10 uses. This little artist brush I will, because it's so small. The wax is going to gather in these little tiny bristles, and it's going to be harsher on the little tiny artist brush. But let me show you guys. I mean, these guys here, I can pull them out, and I actually love when they get old wax kind of settled in here. Remember, I love old wax. So when it settles in the bristles, sometimes I don't even need to fill the brush, and I can just come back and it's already got a little bit of wax built into the brush. So all these are dirty, but then I do come and I clean them every once in a while. No, that one even has white wax in it. So no, definitely not after every time. But I start to notice when they have too much wax buildup in them and they're not really functional anymore. All right, and then I'm going to take this out along these moldings here. And same thing, I'll take, oh, I just put my brush away. I'll just take my little wax brush and I'm just going to soften that. So I have the glaze that's in the low points along the center, and this just kind of deepens the recesses and it sets it off from the piece. It's like it's a shadowing effect. So it looks like it has depth and dimension. And then I'm going to add a little bit of gold gilding wax. If I pop the lid off here, okay, let's talk about gold gilding wax. The struggle is real. I have long fingernails, guys, and these little pots, like I dip my fingernail in here and without a doubt, I come up with a fingernail full of gilding wax. So I have to take like a paintbrush tip and I push the gilding wax up to the top of the container so that I don't have to get my finger in there. So if you have long fingernails, that is my solution for using the Dixie Belle gilding wax containers. And I'm just going to softly hit some of these highlights.
Can you wax over gator hide?
Yes, you can. You can. The Dixie Belle waxes are water-based waxes, so I will top coat over the Dixie Belle waxes. So what I did here is I used satin clear coat, and this will get another clear coat over the top. And one of the questions I get a lot is, well, the gilding waxes are oil-based. I will let, if I'm just doing detail work like this, I will let the gilding wax set up for 24 hours. And I will top coat it if it's just over details. And that's because I do my top coat last. It's already on. It's not that it needs one. The gilding wax does not need a top coat. But I do frequently top coat my gilding wax just because I put my clear coats on very last. And so they end up getting sealed as a result. So I'm just hitting all the high points, and it's this buildup of the paint finish, the glaze, the gilding wax, and all of a sudden these medallions that were like, they were pretty. Don't get me wrong, the paint finish on its own was really pretty. But now they have so much more interest. And I'm also going to do, I need to finish the wax along these, but I'm also going to hit this with a little bit of gold too. I just used my finger. And I'm going to hit all those guys. So that's really pretty. This is still wet, so that needs to dry. And then down here, let's go ahead and put some gilding wax down. Can you see down at the bottom?
I will.
Okay. Down here, I don't want to glaze this. I think it's actually really pretty, and I don't want to get it too dark. I want to leave it kind of light. I want these edges that I have the metallic on to really be differentiated. So on these, I'm just going to use the gold gilding wax on the fluff. And I'm just going to bring these details alive with the gold gilding wax. They're not going to get the glaze too. They're just going to get the gilding wax. And I'm just going to feather it in so you can see. If I just leave it in the flat paint color, you don't really notice how detailed all this molding is down at the bottom of this piece. This is a really pretty set. It was damaged. The existing finish, the factory finish, had chipping, and you know, it needed to be refinished no matter what. So I sanded all those spots out. It's all still preserved underneath here. You know, people always ask, well, the wood was beautiful. It was beautiful, but if somebody ever wanted to bring it back, it's not like the wood is gone. It's still very much there. And stripping a piece of furniture, whether you're stripping a clear coat or stripping a paint coat, it's the same thing. It's the same process.
Sheila wants to know, whatever happened to the moonshine metallics?
I use moonshine metallics. They're on here. I have steel magnolia on here.
See?
It's on here, Sheila.
Man.
Just for you. This has a metallic finish on it. It's really, really hard. I say this to you guys all the time, anytime I use metallics, because I know you can't see the shimmer of it unless you're in person. It doesn't convey on camera very well. Even in still photos, it can be really, really hard to capture the shimmer of a metallic in a photo. You need movement. You have to move it in the light to really see how it catches the light. And even a still photo is not going to capture that.
Oh, good. Let's move it. Yeah.
Same thing. I'm staying low. I'm staying low, though. I'm just going to get this guy over here. So I just kind of feather it so that the gilding wax reacts with the heat and the oils in your fingertips. And it just gets this soft. So I'm just pulling it up from the bottom. And then it naturally will feather out. All right, so that's how I'm going to detail this piece. Really, really, really pretty, very elegant. Even just the white paint with the gold against it, that was all that needed, and it still brings out all of the details that are lost in when you just do a paint finish on it. So that is what I have planned for the front. That kind of wraps up the front. After this, once it's all dry, it'll just get another clear coat. I do spray my clear coat. See, I have gilding wax under my fingernails. It's
so gross.
It's super gross. It drives me absolutely nuts. Like I can't even handle it.
And go.
Okay, so let's turn to the inside of this piece because it's got a really special inside too. So if you open the door on this piece, this door right here has this really cool little caddy at the top.
Sorry. Sheila and Gary.
Dang it, guys. I'll read it back later. It has this really cool little caddy in the top. So I always usually paint the inside of my door, but I wanted to do something pretty in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the lace transfer from Dixie Belle because it's super elegant. It's just this soft gray. It couldn't match any more perfectly with the paint finish that I have on the outside. So I think this is going to be perfect. So this comes in 4 sheets. I'm definitely not going to need all 4. I also wanted to apply this on camera with you guys because I see like a lot of people think this is a difficult transfer, but I think this is a fairly easy transfer to put on. And then also show you how I plan to work around this caddy that's at the top right here. So it's going to take me a couple pieces of this transfer. I won't use the whole thing. I'll probably use 2 sheets to do the inside of this. I'm going to make sure they're consecutive sheets so that I can match them up. They're numbered in the top corner, guys. So this is sheet number 1, and this is sheet number 2, which means the pattern should, in theory, match up when I put these 2 together. And it does. So that's good.
So.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been like, this is awkward. Okay, and then let me make sure I have more than one transfer in this tube too, so I'm going to make sure I'm using the right sheets together.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah, so it's always fun.
What
it's
the
an
heck?
Adventure. Alright, so we're going to start with sheet number 1, and I'm going to put it, somehow we're going to figure this out together right now. I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to cut it so that it goes on the front of this here, and then comes back and fills in that spot. You can cut your transfers all apart.
Oh, shit.
You're a little worried for me right now? All right, I'm thinking I'm going to need to measure this a little bit because I'm going to need to slice this transfer right here, and I'm going to create like a flap. And then the top will go back, this flap will come out, and then the bottom will go underneath. That's in theory.
In theory.
In theory. That's what my brain says will work. So I'm going to take out my dollar store bendy ruler that...
Yeah, that looks like it's effective.
Yeah, making straight lines with it is not ideal. All right, I'm going to measure, though, how far down this goes.
I don't know if you're comfortable measuring there.
No,
you know how to do that?
Super uncomfortable. All right, it's 1 inch. 1 inch. Like spot on 1 inch.
Okay.
So I'm going to come down...
2 inches.
That pencil. Yeah, I'm
going to eye it now.
2 inches. Eyeball it. So I'm going to come down, but I'm going to measure from the top of the design, not the top of the sheet. I'm going to measure from where the design starts. See? And I am going to come down a little bit further because I'd rather have excess at the top than run out, than have it short. Right? You pick it up what I'm putting down, and I'm going to mark on my transfer with a Sharpie because...
Really? Hypothetically. Oh, there, you found one.
Yeah, because this is just the plastic backing sheet. So I'm doing 1.25 inches, and I'm going to cut this.
You're crazy.
It's going to work. I'm telling you, it's going to work. Are you guys just waiting for me to fail tonight? You guys are supposed to rally for me.
I'm waiting for the rallying comments. I don't see any faith-based comments.
All right, and then I'm going to come take a pair of scissors to this. You guys with me? You can always piece it back together,
there
right?
There we go, Marilyn. You never fail.
Thank you. Marilyn's got my back.
Failure is not an option.
All the rest of you guys.
That's what I will say.
Okay, but I'm not going to cut it all the way over because remember, this is going to go up top. See? Like that. And this is going to come across here. And I don't want to cut all the way over either.
It's just you, me, and 1,600 of your friends.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I'm sweating bullets over here.
Wait a minute. Blame it on Sean if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Huh?
So far, I think we're going to be...
I'm kind of impressed right now.
I think we're going to be okay. All right, so then I need to cut a bottom line on here too. But I actually usually prefer to cut my transfer, so I might apply this and then just slice the bottom once it's applied. I mean, that's really the easier way. All right, let's go with it. We're going to try this. So now that I've got that cut
we're going all in.
I'm all in. I'm committed at this point.
I'm going to keep the camera back.
All right, I'm going to match up my top line. Yeah, so that way you won't catch if I really botch this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, if I have to come back and repaint it...
I'm going to go like the next room or something.
All right, I'm going to stick this transfer on here at the top. I'm writing it right along the top of this caddy, and I'm going to seat it down by pressing the transfer down. Once I press it in, it's like we're committed.
We're good.
I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this off because they don't need to stay attached. I can just seam it together so that I'm not constantly pulling at this top piece.
Oh yeah, look at
This
that.
keeps wanting to fall.
You know, you could just slice it all the way over.
Yeah, but
Would that be easier for
I'm
you?
going to get this in here and then I can slice it. The Dixie Belle transfers are actually really, really forgiving. Really forgiving.
So if your transfer goes wonky, how do you fix it?
You kind of have like one good shot at it. Now these are pretty forgiving. Okay, I'm going to show you something here. This is unsealed paint. If I gently try to pull this back, I can still do it. Even after I seated that with my fingers by pressing it down, I am still able to pull this away. That is not the case with every transfer. That is why I love the Dixie Belle transfers. Can you give me a transfer tool? Because that would be super helpful right now. I don't have, I take them, well here's the, oh, is there one in here? Oh,
there's one right here.
Yeah, there is one in my tube. It's stuck in the sheets. I found it.
You're welcome.
Alright.
Sherry said I should help you, but I'm going to be a good husband and just wait for you to quote unquote guide me if you need help. Basically tell me what to do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this because it wants to keep falling. We'll just cut a straight line all the way across, and this will let me do the top, and then I can just seam up that next piece. We'll just do this guy up here. And then I'm going to write it along.
Sheila, that happens a lot.
What? Where
or guilt trip me into doing it.
Yeah, sure. All right. So that's nice and straight, and I can go ahead and attach this piece. Once I've rubbed it with the stick, like it's kind of a done deal. You know how you saw me pull it away? That's not going to happen anymore once I've rubbed it with the stick. So with the lace transfer, I go over the entirety of the transfer with my transfer stick, okay? Go over it one time. If I tried to pull it back, it's still not going to be fully attached.
See, I can get in close here.
I need my razor knife. I've said a million times I need to paint my razor knife hot pink. It always eludes me because it's black. My white one is over there. Can you grab me that one? Oh, I found the black one.
Second time. Yeah.
It's like,
hey, can you go over there, like down the street and get that for me? Oh, I found it.
Can you guys tell I'm trying to get rid of Sean tonight? I'm going to slice this top part off. I don't want it to wrap the top. So this is that little bit of excess. Remember I told you I measured it a 1/4 inch too big so that I wouldn't be short. Ta-da!
Oh, guaranteed.
So that's my little scrap.
wrapped around your finger.
Okay.
Multiple.
So, hey, 3 kids will do that. He has no choice. All right. And then once I have rubbed over the entirety of it one time, I come and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to pull this little plastic backing up on just one edge. And then I'm going to rub it again as I go, making sure each piece releases. The key to this lace transfer is pulling this backing sheet up as you go. If I get a spot that I need to rub a little more, I just go back and rub that again. This little guy right here. I'm trying to not scuff my white paint with my transfer stick. So, I mean, I think that's the key with this lace transfer. If you pull this backing sheet up as you go, it actually releases really, really quickly. If you just try to rub it and then pull the sheet all at one time, you're going to feel like you're rubbing forever because it's all these details. You want to pull it up as you go.
Well, I will say, she sure is pretty.
I got part of it on.
Yeah. Oh, Sheila, why do you ask such crazy things with Thanksgiving coming up next week? Is Brandy doing all the cooking?
That's a good question, though. I'm glad you guys brought it up. I am going to take next week off, so I will not be live with you guys next week. We'll be back the week after. It's Thanksgiving. I thought, you know, maybe we'll try to be like traditional family.
Huh?
Yeah, for 1 minute.
What the?
I'm not saying I'm going to cook anything. No.
Whoa,
yeah.
wait, what?
No, I mean, I'm reasonable. I'm kidding. I will cook a Thanksgiving dinner. All right, I'm going to have to slice this again.
Ooh, Gary.
Right here in this corner.
Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger.
Ooh, that's a traditional Thanksgiving cheeseburger.
Amen to that.
Alright, so that's my cut for this side. And then I'm going to cut this piece that's going to go across the top here. Trying to get it nice and lined up with the top of this little caddy. And that's pretty on there. So now I can go ahead and cut it. You guys laughing at me?
June. Are we gonna have noodles?
Yeah, top ramen. Top ramen Thanksgiving. It'll be turkey flavored top ramen. All right, and once I've got a slice, I know where my cut line's gonna be, and I'm gonna cut it with my scissors instead.
Oh man. Some people should not be trusted with sharp objects.
Your wife is one of them?
Yep. Everything becomes a lawn dart. And I don't mean the ones with the little plastic tips on there either.
Did you ever actually own lawn darts?
When I was a kid? Oh, yeah.
You have some?
I did. I mean, not now. It's not like it's handed down generationally.
Well, I know because I've seen the ones they have in the store now, and it's like...
Oh, they're garbage.
It's like Nerf lawn darts.
Yeah. Like, I want to expect someone's getting hurt. Watch out, Timmy. Yeah.
Daddy loves you. Lots of cutting, guys. Don't be afraid to cut your transfers because you can always seam it back together. Worst case, if you get a cut wrong, they seam up really well. All right, so that's my piece, and that is like pretty good. Let's get this piece attached, and then I can start going underneath. From here, it's easy. It's smooth sailing, right, guys? This was the hardest piece.
Amanda said, nope, cut the tip off her index finger this week, and her 8-year-old freaked out.
Oh, jeez.
No. Except for the freaking out. Been there, done that.
So now I'm going to get the edge of this plastic. which I cannot pull.
Oh, I like Faye's idea. The lawn darts have been replaced with axe throwing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. Everybody loves to go axe throwing now. Maybe not an at-home sport though. I guess we could throw axes in the yard.
Yeah.
Well, my son's been building a airsoft field in the back of our house. So it looks like I don't know. It looks like people are living out there because there's like tarps strung from trees and pallets and stuff.
Pallets.
Yeah.
Random.
I keep looking out we have 5 acres and it's on the back 9, and I keep looking and I'm like, I swear somebody's living on the back of our property right now, but it's just my son's airsoft field that he's made. He's being extremely creative.
And that's okay.
Yeah, we're letting it happen. He went to, someone we met has an airsoft field at their house, and it's amazing. So he tried to duplicate it, but ours is the
this is
ours is the wish
this
version.
Is the intro version.
The
yeah,
wish version of
first level. You have to start at a base level and improve upon.
So you guys see what I'm doing here? I rubbed over all of the transfer, and then I'm pulling the backing sheet back as I rub it. Slicing my transfer up to fit my piece as many times as I need to slice it. And I pull this backing sheet up as I go. It releases super easy. These are
thank you, Lynn and Dan.
Yeah, to work with.
The kit skyrocketed, that's for sure. We're commenting on the pictures.
Oh,
Dana and Lynn.
Yeah, we have 3 boys in there.
I don't know what he eats, but...
All right, and then this piece down here is super easy, guys. I'm so excited right now because it worked. You know what's worse than a fail is a fail on camera.
But then the release once you're done. To just relax.
Let's see, I need to cut this little piece off right here. How should I do this? Because I have a gap here, but I'll have a gap here too. Okay.
It's a self-closing door.
Yeah, I think we're on a hill. All right, I'm going to get this little piece in here. Once you get that edge released, you can start pulling the backing sheet, and the transfer is going to stay with your piece.
Before we go, I'll get in close and show everybody. Closer.
I will have to, it's a little short on this end, so I'm just going to have to seam in. There will be a little row right here that's a seam, and then I'll have a seam somewhere in here too, where I seam 2 pieces together. All right, so I'm going to line this up with this edge of the drawer, or door, I guess. I guess this is a door. You want to call it that. Oh my. Okay. Same thing, rub over the entirety of it. Sorry guys, I got lost in my transfer application, but I'm super excited with it. It's going to be really pretty. It's just a nice soft detail when you open this door. Once I feel like I've got it rubbed over all of it, I find a little corner that I can pick up. It's hard to pick up because it's on this curve. It's bending the plastic.
Now you did not refinish the inside.
I didn't. I'm going to clean it when I'm done. I don't clean the inside until very last, when I'm all done with all my finishes, because I tend to get like here, I've got a little bit of paint. So I'll just take a little bit of very fine steel wool and I'll buff all this and clean the inside, and then I'll polish it with Big Mama's butter.
Yeah, Sheila says our youngest, Timmy,
Yeah,
really
Timmy.
fast too.
Little Timmy. Okay, and then I can pick up this backing sheet and just rub it as I go.
It's very loud. I wish it would stop talking.
Yeah, it sounds like bubble wrap. I need to get up underneath here, which is kind of hard to see. So that is the key to this transfer, you guys. Pick up this backing sheet as you go, rub it as you go. If I tried to just go chit, 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 and then think I can just pull this away, it doesn't work like that. You have to pull this away. It introduces air in between the backing sheet and the transfer, and then it's going to want to stay with the piece. See how easy that is?
Oh, it's easy on this side.
Easy. Yeah, Sean's having no problem getting this transfer on. I know it's boring to watch a transfer be rubbed on, but I do see people think that this one is harder because it's got a lot of little details in it. But it's not. If you're pulling this backing sheet up as you go, it actually is a really easy transfer to apply.
So just in case it's hard to see on camera, what color is that?
What color is the piece?
The transfer.
It's gray. It's a really light gray, which is perfect against the white backdrop. This transfer shows really great against white, although I've used it on vintage duck egg and it was really pretty too. It's just a very subtle...
Thanks, Jennifer. She said we work well together. I mean, I do all the work. I don't, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the heck you do all day.
I'm breaking a sweat over here with all this rubbing. So anyways, you guys get the point. I won't make you watch that because it is painful. I think I'm going to hit this little gap or this little detail right here with a little bit of my gold gilding wax. But how pretty is that? And then once I get the seam done along this edge here, that's a really soft and sweet little detail. And it's perfectly in keeping with the style of the piece. So our glaze is almost dry, which means this paint finish is going to be done tonight, which I like. Got a little bit of my gilding wax right here. I'm just going to take it off. I'm just using one of my cleaning wipes. This is sealed paint, so it comes off pretty easy. And oil would have been easier to take that off with, but I don't have an oil out with me. Big Mama's Butter will take off gilding wax if you get excess. All right, guys, do you feel more confident applying your lace transfer? It's actually really an easy transfer.
Let's get on in there. Are you okay if I get on in there?
Yeah. And then I just take a soft cloth and I'll come back and buff out. Just burnish the transfer a little bit.
I can speak to how soft that was at one time, since it's mature.
Well, maybe not this one.
Oh, you've cleaned it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello. This is a dirty rag, and on the white, I probably should be using a clean white rag just in case I have glaze or anything on here. I don't want to get that onto my piece. So, all right, you guys, I will finish this up. This piece will be done actually really soon. But that's really pretty. So glaze, your paint finish, glaze, a little bit of wax, and a little bit of gilding wax, and it brings your moldings to life. All of a sudden, they will pop against the background. So that's kind of what we did tonight. We used a little bit of black glaze that I tinted with coffee bean. Gets it to this nice antique color. And then grunge gray wax, gold gilding wax, and inside, of course, is the lace transfer.
Wow. It even comes with its own music?
Yeah,
what are you doing over there?
Because we've been watching, my kids like to watch Wheel of Fortune.
What's going on?
So I'm showing it.
There's no letters.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I'm sorry this was long. I'm going to pop off, you guys, but if you want to check out anything we used tonight, I put my link above in the post. I always appreciate purchases made through there. Those bring me back week after week, but not on Thanksgiving. And you can also use that link to find your local retailer. And if you want to go in person and check out any of these items, you can find your local retailer. So I wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're home next week enjoying your families like we will be too. I will be missing you guys, but we'll be back the following week. I do have a video coming out on my YouTube channel tomorrow that's really kind of cool. We're going to do one piece 3 different ways. So we're going to mix it up and do...
Why are you holding 2 fingers up?
That's the one I sliced off with the razor knife.
2.5 pieces? What?
So you guys check out my YouTube channel at Brushed by Brandy. And I will catch you guys in 2 weeks. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.